Good morning, everyone. I'm Professor Parik Payal, behalf of IT and Computer Science. Welcome all for the today webinar session. I heartily welcome today's speaker, Mr. Ashish Srivastav, software tester in a Unicode technology. Dr. Priya Swaminarayan Madam, Dean of FITCS, and Professor Hina Choksi Madam, Head of BCA, Professor Vivek Dave sir, Head of MCA, all faculty member of FITCS and all dear students. Before I starting the webinar session, let me give you a brief introduction about the Mr. Ashish Srivastav. So Mr. Ashish Srivastav is ICTQB certified software trainer having a total of 14 years of experience in the software industry. He worked in a UK for the major retail gain and have been appreciated for the delivering successful error-free project on time. He is having a good knowledge of handling client. He worked on a various retail, hospitality, and CMS application. And he has involved in a testing process setup, team management, and process evaluation. And he has also involving in testing process and team retailing program, project management, and having a rich experience in laying out testing process and building a testing team for the scratch. He had worked on a mobile and web application for the both manual and automation. He has carried out the cross-browser testing, exploratory testing for the various application, setting up test management tool, defect management tool for the various project and bring it into use. He had carried out a various training for the graduate program to enable a new team member in understanding testing process and bring them up to speed. He had a good hand-in experience in laying out testing process, planning, effect estimation, resource structure, and angel testing environment. Now, I will heartily welcome you, sir, on behalf of my department. I request you to please take over, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, ma'am. Thanks, Payal. Thank you, everyone, each and every staff member of Parul, for inviting me for this particular webinar. And good morning, friends. Good morning, every student. I hope you would be great and your health is also good. Fine. So, Payal has given my introduction. Let me add to those points. As she mentioned, I have cleared ISTQB certification. So ISTQB is nothing but a international body, okay, providing certification for software testing. So say, for example, you would have heard of Oracle certified developers, right? That way, we like in the software industry, ISTQB is the international body who conducts examination and provides the certification. So it's valid across the world. And I have good experience with retail domain, as in e-commerce sites, e-commerce applications, that is mobile applications, websites. Okay, I have majorly, I would say, maximum worked with PMC, that is Paul Mason Consulting in Baroda. But apart from that, I started my career with Gateway Technolabs in Ahmedabad. So I worked over there for 2 years and then moved back to Baroda, which is like my hometown. Okay, and I graduated, mastered from my from TDIT Nadia. Okay, so that is my introduction. And to tell you about Unicode Technologies, Unicode Technologies is like being set up from last 10 years. Started in Ahmedabad by one of my friend. Okay, he initiated this with the core concept that we should provide testing related services. So Unicode Technology is only dealing with testing related services, as in we have three verticals. One is related to this training part, okay, which we provide to graduates, to professionals, IT professionals who are into software testing field, okay. And the second one is placement part, which we provide to our students and help them secure a good job across Gujarat. Okay, so that is second vertical. Then the third vertical is related to IT projects, that also pertaining to software testing. Fine. So in and out, we are into software testing field only. Now, let me begin with the presentation. And before that, let me tell you, I'll give you a brief introduction about what is software testing. Okay. And then I will explain what are the different areas into software testing. Okay. And later on, I'll move to the practical and demonstration part of automation also. So be with me, and I hope you will enjoy this session. And one, what you say, experience, what I understood in this particular field is that quality is the very utmost thing in IT field. See, when we started our career as a software tester, like 14 years back, so it was the case that this was not limelighted. Okay, QA or testing, software testing was not that much in demand, I would say, or it was not considered that much uh, good as in technical field, technical wise. People used to think that developer are more technical enough, and if a person who is scholar in IT should go into development field only. But that was not the actual case. I started my career as a .NET developer only. But when I joined Gateway Technolabs and stayed over there, I got an opportunity to move into inter-department, that is into software testing department. And while working as a developer, I did understood the very much importance of QA. Say like just to give an example, without the yes of QA department, your project cannot go into final release. Okay. I used to work late nights also in office, and I do remember that I have called up managers, project managers, in midnight, and I was like having 1.5 years of experience. Not a single developer had that kind of power or right to call a project manager at this midnight and call in the industry. So I was having that what you say, rights and power to call project manager and tell about the defects in the application, and tell about how difficult it is to release the software final release. Because see, there could be financial losses, there could be life threatening issues if your software is having an issue. You are using multiple e-commerce channels, so if those, I would like to name like Amazon, Flipkart, which maximum people are using. And right now in this COVID situation, many people are dependent on online services only. So if these services are having simple issues, okay, like issues related to financial transaction, issues related to, say for example, if you are using a flight and that particular flight system is having some issue in software, okay, your life is at threat. So now you should have an understanding, a basic understanding how important this QA or software testing field is, right? So let me begin with my presentation, and we'll do an interactive session. I would like to, I would request, I would say request you all to raise questions and doubts, okay, and get a good understanding of this particular field, because I'm sure that I'm not very much sure actually how much is covered in college related to software testing. Development, I'm sure languages are covered, but testing, I'm not that much sure because many colleges are not having that in syllabus. So if you have any doubt, just let me know, and we'll sort it out. Okay. So let me begin with my presentation. Okay. Fine. So you guys would have learned about software testing in SDLC, okay, SDLC life cycle. Okay, testing basically is one of the phase which starts after development completes, right? That is what you have learned in a normal waterfall model, also waterfall methodology. You have understood that once each phase completes, planning, analysis, design, and then development, and then you start with the software testing. So actually in industry, that is not the case. Okay, testing actually should start very much early in the phases of SDLC. When I'm saying early, that means when the company starts with the requirement gathering. When the requirement gathering starts, at that particular moment, your testing should start. Now, you would think that if the development is not there, if the application is not there, how could one test? Okay, so then we have static testing. When I say static, static means stationary. Okay, static means stationary, and dynamic means which is like getting executed. Your code is getting executed. Your code, a developer code, is if it is not executed, then you can say it is a static. So we are doing some code review also, right? You would have heard of this name, code review. So people go with code review, uh, optimize the code, right? So all those things happen in the static testing. And it's not like testing is done by testers only. Developers as well as the client or end user also do the testing. And at some point of time, you are also as an end user. Okay, if you have heard of beta release, okay, there are some releases. WhatsApp, in case of WhatsApp, there are beta releases. So you are the tester, you act as a tester. Whatever problem or whatever crash you face, those kind of reports are sent back to development team. Okay, and based on that, there are changes in the application, and finally you get a final application which is a stable release. Okay, so before going with the stable release, there are some releases called as alpha release and beta release. Okay, that is part of UAT. So I was talking about early testing. So early testing means testing or starting testing in the early phases of the SDLC from the requirement gathering stage. So over there we perform static testing, that is at document level. So we can review SRS, we can do code review, even the design documents. Okay, database level architecture, your use case diagrams, all those things we can actually do a static testing by reviewing. Review is like, say for example, you have written an email or you have written a particular document, and you ask your colleagues or your friends to give a look at it and give you some observations or suggestions. That is nothing but a basic review. Okay, so static involves with the document level. Now we come with the dynamic level. So dynamic level, as I said, it happens at the application level. So dynamic means something which is running. Okay, the code is running, the code is getting executed, and you are seeing the application. And application is being tested by testers. Okay. Now, in case of dynamic also, we can divide this dynamic part into functional and non-functional area. So functional, as the name says, functional means wherever functionality is involved. Okay, wherever functionality is involved. So I have named some of the functionalities like login, search, filter. These are some of the functionalities. Reports. Okay, anything which is like actionable. Okay, if you click on a button and something happens, okay, some action happens, that is nothing but a functionality. So all those functionality will be laid out in SRS. SRS stands for software requirement specification. So SRS will be given to development team and testing team. Okay, so based on the functional requirements laid out in the SRS, we will be writing scenarios and test cases. So I will be coming to that point also later on in my slide. Okay, so we'll discuss at that time. Right now, you can understand functional testing as anything which is functional in nature. Okay, we are testing that part. Something then there is a non-functional area. So in case of non-functional, usability, security testing, performance testing, these things comes into picture. So with usability, what I mean to say is how easy the website or the mobile application is easy to use. Okay, security wise, you can say privacy of data, authorization, right, authentication, all those things comes into security. Performance, so if you request, you type in a URL for a website and press enter, the request goes to the server, and server responds you back with the page. Okay, now this might take 1 or 2 seconds or less than that. So that is for one user. Now crores of users or lakhs or thousands of users are accessing your website or your business website. So for each and every user, what is the time taken by the website to load that particular application? Okay, just a minute, guys. I need to close this application. Yeah. Sorry for the disturbance. Okay, so I was talking about non-functional part, that is performance testing. So in case of performance, we are checking the uh, loading of a particular website on your system, on your browser. So how much time it takes to load a particular website on your system. So response time, throughput, and data or bytes transferred between server and client. Those are some of the areas or parameters which we look at. And accordingly, we give the report to developers. So these all are considered under non-functional part. Okay. So right now with automation as a topic, we will be working on the functional area, not on static or not on non-functional areas. I will be just talking about the functional part of the application. Okay. So let's move to next slide. Okay. So this is a basic difference between manual and automation. Now, as the name says, manual is nothing but any task which is done manually or by the person individually. Okay, so that is a manual task or manual testing. Okay, so testing done by a resource or a human resource, that is a manual testing. And automation, any tool, okay, developed and helps you to perform a task. The same task which is done manually, if you are using any tool to perform that particular task, that is called as automation. Okay, so that is a basic difference. And in lame language, I would say if you are going from one location to another location by walking on your own, that is manual. And if you're using some kind of transport, that is an automation. So you are using some tool to travel from one source to another source. So that is a basic automation. Okay, now manual testing. To start with manual testing, as I said earlier, we get software requirement specification where each and every requirement is laid out in a descriptive manner with the screenshot. Okay, the page will look like this. Okay, how the text feels, how the different buttons images will be looking. So that kind of UI will be given to the developer as well as testing team, and even the functionality will be laid out in the SRS. Okay, say for example, you have different employees. Okay, that is coming in a list form, and you want to select the checkbox for each and every employee, and you want to delete few of the employees. So there will be a delete button. Okay, so delete button functionality will be laid out properly. Like if you click on the checkbox and click on delete, that particular employee record should get deleted. If you don't select any of the employees from the list and you click on delete button, there should be a validation message pop up coming up saying that no records selected. So this is also functionality. Okay, there could be valid cases, there could be invalid cases. See, 80% or 90% you will be using the application properly, okay, or with conscious mind. But then there will be some people who would be doing mistakes, okay, while using the application, right? Not deliberately, but by mistake they would be providing wrong input into the website or mobile application. Okay, or there would be people who would be deliberately doing the actions, okay, wrong actions, and would be checking the website is behaving properly or not, right? So these all things have to be taken care by the development team, and testers are the people who have to ensure that these things are properly implemented or not. So that is the role of a testing team, right? Now, as things are mentioned over here, development team develops the application and performs unit testing. Unit testing is nothing but a developer will be testing his own software or his own code and will check whether that particular code is working properly or not, right? And with testing team, it will be like preparing with test scenario and preparing with test cases. So I have laid out down in the next slide what is test scenario and what is test cases. Okay, so I'll explain that slide. Okay, so this is a basic uh, difference between test scenario and test case. So a simple definition of test scenario is a single line statement. Okay, test scenario is a single line statement which tells what you are going to test. Okay, what all things you are going to test. So all the possibilities. Say for example, over here I have taken login functionality, a basic functionality, which will be there in each and every website or mobile application. So in case of login functionality, what things I can check for? By passing valid credential, as in valid username and valid password. I will be passing valid username and password and will see whether user is able to log in successfully or not. Now I will check with invalid credentials also. Okay. Similarly, by passing blank or without passing anything, that is blank entries, I will go with checking mandatory fields. Okay. Then I will check for default cursor position on the username field, text field. So anything which I feel should be tested from the end user point of view and from the usability or different point of view, I will be covering as part of test scenarios. Okay, and that will be written as single line of statement, the way I have written over here. So verify, what I need to verify? I need to verify login functionality. How? By passing valid credentials. Okay, similarly, by passing invalid credentials, I will verify. Now, with test case, I can give a simple definition, as in test case is nothing but step by steps instructions, step by step instructions to achieve a scenario. Okay, step by step instructions to achieve a scenario. So for each scenario, there will be a test case. Okay, and there is a test case format also, but I have not covered that part over here. I have covered only a portion of test case format. So the major thing is steps and expected result. Fine. So in case of steps, as I said, test case is nothing but step-by-step instructions. So these are instructions you have to follow as an open application URL. So if you do this step, what is your expectation? Your expectation is home page is displayed or home page should be displayed. That is your expectation, right? Then goes click on login link. Okay. So login page should be displayed. Enter valid credentials entered. Okay, right now I'm not clicking on anything, I'm just entering things. Then click on login button and verify user login successfully. So this is the last part, that is I'm verifying by following these steps from the basic opening an application URL to the last step, verifying the user is logged in successfully. And then in expected, user should log in successfully. That is my expectation. Now, actual, when development team gives me a release, software release, okay, and then I will be performing these steps and I will be getting actual results, how the website actually behaves when I perform these steps. So I will be comparing expected result and actual result. And if expected result matches with actual result, my complete test case will be passed. Okay, so there will be status in test case, that is pass and fail. So I will say a test case is failed when any of the expected result will not be matching with my actual result. Okay, so that is a basic difference between test scenario and test case. So this all happens in manual testing. So for each and every functionality of a website, there will be a team of testers. Definitely, a one tester won't be writing each and everything. So for each and every functionality, there will be test scenarios laid out, and accordingly, test cases will be laid out. Okay, so so that is all about manual testing. Now we will move to automation part. So as I said, automation is nothing but we are using some kind of tool to automate our test cases. So this is one particular test case which we can automate. Okay, so for automation, you just need to be aware of that we need to have two things with us. Say for example, one, we need to be aware like what action we need to perform. Okay, so action would could be click, type. Okay, that could be an action, and on one particular locator this particular action needs to be performed. So that will be giving a locator. So that again I will take it up in later slides. So let's move to automation. So why do we need automation first of all? When everything can be done through manually, why do we need automation? Okay, so there are some areas which we need to check or test every time. That is a login page. Login page would be tested every time, and that is the very first page of an application. Okay, once you are logged in successfully, okay, you can like check or perform manual testing for the other functionalities as well. So instead of going for manual testing of login page, what I can do, I can automate it. So these are for automation. What test cases I need to consider? The ones which are repetitive, okay, and monotonous. Okay, so repetitive, manual, monotonous task needs to be automated, and that was the reason these tools came into picture. Okay, in like past history, the reason behind evolving or developing these tools, this was the only practical reason. In industry, people were facing that we have to perform this task manually every time, so why not to automate it? The same way you automate things in manufacturing or other industries, they have the machines now. Okay, so same way over here. Then speed in execution. So if you are perform speed anyways, once I will show you the code running, you will yourself understand. Okay, how speed in automation is quite better than manual. So if a login page is tested, all the test cases are tested in, say for example, 15 to 20 minutes. With automation, it might take 1 minute or less than 1 minute. So that is the speed. Okay, now when speed is there, when resources are less, the automation will come to a less costly. So entire project will be less costlier to test from testing point of view. Okay, coming to efficient execution. Efficient, when I say efficient, see, we are humans, and even though we are testers, but we will get tired up. Okay, after like 8 hours of working job, if I ask you to work for next 4 hours, okay, definitely whatever test cases you would be executing, you would be tired enough for the day, and some things you might assume and test. Okay, so you won't get the efficiency with manual testing that much compared to automation. Saying that, I don't say that manual testing is error prone and you will find more errors in manual testing. It's not that way. But comparing a human person and a machine working, definitely machine will work for more hours and will give you more better results. Okay, if properly maintained. Then proper formatted results in place. So with manual testing, you have to create reports manually also. Again, that also will be done manually. But over here in automation, you will be getting proper formatted results also. Again, when I run my code, I will show you how the results will be displayed. Okay. So these are some of the reasons why automation is needed or in demand in industry. Fine. Now, with automation tools that much in demand in industry, these are some of the tools which I have laid out. Okay. Again, there would be many more tools, but the popular ones or the more used ones are being mentioned over here. So open source tools, that means free tools, available to you as a free tool. You can use it freely, download it and install and use it. So open source tools, the first one is Selenium, Catalan, APM, AutoIT, Test Project, Sahi, and Water. So Selenium, I would say it is purely for website functional testing. I will repeat, Selenium is purely for website functional testing. For mobile functionality testing or for mobile application testing, you have to go with APM. But we can actually integrate APM with Selenium. So if you know Selenium properly, we can work with APM also. It is nothing but a library files. The way you get Java library files and other language library files, you can go for those things also. Auto IT is purely for desktop based automation. As in, if you want to open Notepad, you can open it through Auto IT. Okay, so Selenium can't do that part. But again, as I said, the way APM is integrated with Selenium, Auto IT scripts can be integrated with Selenium. So this is one of the major advantage of Selenium. Different tools, scripts can be integrated with Selenium. And that is one of the reason Selenium is that much popular and maximum used in industry. Okay. Test project, coming to test project, it is currently open source and uh, gaining the popularity. So I'm not sure next 5 years or 10 years, it could be test project taking up the lead over Selenium. Okay. Now coming to paid tools, UFT before Selenium came into market, UFT was taking the market share. UFT stands for Unified Functional Testing Tool. Earlier, it was called as QTP. You would have heard the name QTP, Quick Test Professional. And this is a product of HP, Hewlett Packard. The laptops you are using, that particular company is this is the product of that particular company. And before HP, Mercury Interactive was the company who initiated QTP as a product. And as you know, mercury is a poison, right? Mercury, the name mercury, mercury is an element, and it is poison, the one we use in thermometer. And selenium is also an element which is an antidote of mercury. And that is how this name came into picture actually, Selenium. So when initial Selenium project started, that in ThoughtWorks company, so teams thought to give it a name. And at that particular time, QTP was very much popular or in demand. And the company who started this product was named as Mercury Interactive. And that is how they gave this name. And actually, in current scenario, uh, hardly people use or go for QTP or UFT, and Selenium is more in demand. There are different what you say challenges or limitations you can say, or if you do a comparison chart, Selenium would be ranking more in that particular comparison chart, and that is the reason Selenium is widely used in industry compared to QTP. Otherwise, QTP is also a good tool, but if you go for buying it or purchasing, it will cost for one single seat, it will cost you a lot of money, as well as for support also, for support services it will be costing more. Fine. Anyways, so these are some of the paid tools list. Okay, so now coming to why Selenium. Okay, out of all these tools, why we are going for Selenium? So the very best thing is open source. Anything which is free is definitely more lucrative, right? And everything which is free is available in the market is more in demand. So that is one of the one positive point. Big community help. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, for buying or qtp, and you have to buy the support also, like you have to pay for getting a support from qtp team. But over here in Selenium, there is a big community which can help you in on the internet. There is a big community which can help you out. Actually, Google team is behind the development of this Selenium. So initially, Selenium started in company name as ThoughtWorks. Okay, but later on, the initiator or the person who initiated this project, he joined Google, and there over there he started his own team and started working on this Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so so that is one of the reason it's quite robust and popular. It supports multiple programming languages. So in Selenium, you can write code in different languages, whichever is comfortable to you. You can go with PHP, you can go with Python, you can go with Java, C Sharp, Ruby, JavaScript. Okay, the name is endless. So it supports all the programming languages. So what this team, Selenium team, has done, they have provided you with library files, okay, of each and every language. You can use it for your own purpose, and accordingly you can program or do the automation. The next point is supports all browsers and all operating systems. So whether it's Macintosh, whether it's Linux or Windows, you can write program in each and every operating system, and each and every browser, Safari, Firefox, Chrome, Internet Explorer, Edge, each and every browser is supported by Selenium. And as I said in previous slides, also integration of APM, integration of auto ID. So Selenium, as I mentioned earlier, Selenium is purely website functional testing tool. Functional testing tool. Okay, you cannot go for security, performance, usability part. Only functional part, and that too website. But if you want to go for mobile automation or desktop automation, you can definitely integrate those scripts or those library files into Selenium project and accordingly run them. Okay, so moving ahead. So these are the reasons why Selenium is that much popular in industry, and 90 to 95% people are going for Selenium, and because of these reasons, be it India or be it any of the country in the world. Now, these are some of the tools which are provided by Selenium. That is Selenium ID, WebDriver, and Grid. So with Selenium ID, it is nothing but an add-on of Firefox and Chrome browser. Only these two browsers are supported. Earlier it was only Firefox, but as Selenium came with the Google team, Chrome is part of Google, so they gave the support to Chrome browser also. So it is nothing but an extension. I will show you how to install it, download it, and use it in just few minutes. It's a simple record and playback tool. The way we used to use tape recorders, okay, in our childhood days. Now tape recorders are extinct, but at that particular time, we used to record our voice in cassettes and play back it. The same way, whatever actions you perform on website, as in click, typing, okay, sliding, slider, using slider. So each and every action is being recorded in form of commands, okay, in form of in simple English based commands, and you can play back that particular area, and it is automated, right? So we'll see in few minutes how it works. Okay. Then comes WebDriver. So WebDriver, it's like providing you with library files. Okay, the way you have Java library files, okay, JRE files. The same way you have its own library files. It is having its own classes, interface, methods implemented already. You just have to use it. So a simple example is like if you want to maximize a window, okay, you have to use a maximize method. So maximize method is already there. You just have to write that code and automatically the browser open will be maximized. So that is the beauty of WebDriver. Okay. Now, fine. Then grid. Grid is nothing but executing the script of WebDriver parallelly in any of the operating system or in any of the browser. So if this is like working in network, so I am having a server and there are different client machines connected to that particular server. I'm running a particular code, a script on my server that is hub, and there are different nodes which are connected, and each node is having a different combination of browser and operating system. So first machine is having Windows 10, Firefox. Second machine is having Linux and another browser, Safari, say for example. Mac machine, Safari, right? Or another fourth machine, Windows 10 and Chrome. So I can run the same script parallelly at the same time on all the different nodes. So that is the beauty of Grid. Okay. So we will be looking at Selenium ID and then WebDriver. Okay. So let's go with Selenium ID. So as I said, whatever I record in Selenium ID, it comes as a command and a locator. So as I said, in automation, there are two things which are important. One is your command, as in you want to click, you want to type, or whatever action you want to do. So action is nothing but commands. And locators as in if there are two buttons, and if I want to click, so action is click, but out of those two buttons, which particular button you want to click on. So as a human, when you are interacting with the website, you are aware you want to click on save button or you want to click on cancel button. But to a tool, you have to tell, you have to click on save button. And there has to be a unique locator of save button or a cancel button or any of the elements which are present. Okay. Then, so over here in second and third point, I have mentioned commands tells you about the actions. Locators tells you about the element. Element is nothing but a web element. It can be a drop down, checkbox, radio button, text box, image, anything which you can see on the website or right. So that is an element. Right. Now let's go with installation of Selenium ID and a practical demonstration of same. Okay, so let's go with that. I hope you have understood up till this part. If you have any questions, definitely you can ask at the end of the session, or you can email me. I will providing you email also, so you can share that questions over there as well. Fine. So I have opened Chrome browser. Okay, I have opened Chrome browser, and over here I'm okay. Oh, going with Chrome Web Store. Okay. So this is your Chrome Web Store. You can download or install. Actually, there is no downloading. It's all installation. So I will be writing Selenium ID. Selenium IDE. Okay. And I click on that Selenium ID. Okay. So over here it shows me Selenium ID. Catalan also has provided its tool, or Catalan recorder is also there. It's basically a Selenium test generator. They have just copied Selenium. So I'm clicking on Selenium ID. It's already been added in my Chrome, so I'm getting this message remove from Chrome. But for you, for the first time, it will be coming as like add to Chrome. So it will be added as an extension. Okay, you can see the icon over here. Okay, this is Selenium ID. So once you click on add to Chrome, it will get downloaded and installed. You might have to refresh or close and open the Chrome browser. Okay, and for Firefox, you have to go to this particular site. Let me let's write it down. Okay. So addons.mozilla.firefox. So this is the store for Mozilla or Firefox. Over there, you can go and search for Selenium ID, and the process is same. Okay. So I will be performing it on Chrome browser. So this is our website. This is our website, Gadgets Gallery. So it's a basically simple e-commerce website wherein all the electronic items are listed out, and one can log in, create an account, purchase a product, and order it. Okay, so that is a simple process. What I will be doing is going with the log yourself in only. I will be taking a simple example. So I'm clicking on log yourself in icon, sorry, link. Over here, I will be providing some random data. This is invalid data, and I will click on sign in. So it's giving me a validation message that error, no match for email address in our password. So this is one of the functionality. Okay, this is one of the test case which we can test. But in automation, we won't be going for that much of negative testing, but we will be, as I said, repetitive tasks have to be covered up. So I will be going with the positive ones, as in logging with the positive data, valid data, and verifying whether user is able to log in successfully or not. So I will be passing valid data. Just a minute. Sorry. So this is how I have logged in successfully. So these are my steps. You would have seen in this PPT slide, these were the steps. Open application URL, click on login link, enter valid credentials, click on login button, and verify user login successfully. So these are the steps which we have already mentioned in our test cases manually. Okay. And now I'm performing it. So I'm reading those steps and I'm performing those steps on my website. Okay. So I will be opening up the URL, clicking on a link, login link. Sorry, this is create an account. Log yourself in link, passing up the credentials. And verifying user logged in successfully or not. Okay. Now manually, as in by if you a human is performing this task, you can actually see that over here the message coming is welcome back tester, or the person has logged in. Okay, but through automation, how can we can confirm whether the whether user is logged in successfully or not? So we can go for this message, that is welcome message, or we can go for checking of this element, as in log of link is present or not. If log of link is present, then we can definitely say the user is logged in successfully. Otherwise, this link won't come into picture, right? So that is what we will perform using Selenium ID. So let's go ahead with automating this process. So right now we have performed it manually. Now we will automate this process using Selenium ID. So I will open Selenium ID. Okay. These are the different options coming for me. Record a new test project, open an existing project, create a new project, and close Selenium ID. So I will be going with the very first option, record a new test in a new project. Okay. So I will select that. I will be recording from the beginning itself only. Project name. So what is the project name? I will say Gadgets Gallery. Click on OK. And then I have to provide the base URL. Base URL is like the initial URL. Okay. Say for example, Amazon.in. So that is the base URL. Whatever remaining pages or rest of the pages you are visiting, that will be coming after that link or that URL. Okay. So for us, the URL is this one. Okay, this is the base URL. It is hosted on our server in different folders. That's why you are able to see this long URL. I'm copying this URL and pasting it over here. You can perform the same steps on any of the website, any of the live website available. Okay, so it's not necessary or only required for our website. You can do this on any of the website. Now the option is coming as start recording. Okay, so I will click on start recording, and what it will do, it will open up a web page. If you can see on the right hand side, the web page has come up, and on the left hand side, Selenium ID pop-up is getting displayed. On one side, it is mentioning command, and just next to it, over here, you can see target. So target is nothing but locator. Command is like you are clicking on it. So click is a command, type is a command. Locator, what particular element you want to click. Okay, that will be listed out over here. Okay, so let's perform the task. I will click on this log yourself in. Okay, so you can see Selenium ID is recording, and over here the commands have come into picture. I will type in the email address and sign in. Okay, so it has been signed in successfully. Now I will locate this element, log off, right click on it, and over here I will be getting this option, Selenium ID. This option will come only when you are recording your website. Okay, otherwise this option won't come. So right click on log off, Selenium ID, and then I have to verify. You can go for assert also, but there is a difference between verify and assert. Right now I'm not going into that depth, but just go for verify and present. Okay, so element is present or not, that I want to check. These are different options, like check this for radio button in checkbox, whether the checkbox is ticked or not, whether the radio button is ticked or not, that way. Editable is for text box. Text box is editable or not, that way. So I'm going with present. Okay, so it is recorded over here, verify element present. Okay, now I'm stopping. So I'm going back to this Selenium ID pop-up and stopping my recording from this particular button. Okay, this is my, so I'm stopping it. I will give the name as valid login check, something like this. So my test case name came over here. Okay, I can do multiple actions. I can rename it, duplicate it, delete it. Okay, you can export it into Selenium WebDriver, as in you will get a code of it also. Okay, I'll show you this later on. So these are the different commands. Open this URL. Click on this element. So locators, actually you can locate the element, locate elements based on these factors: ID, name. These ID and names are nothing but attributes of an HTML tag. Okay, ID, name. Because of time limit, I cannot go that much into detail, but I'll be making sure you understand things. You can go with XPath, CSS, link text, partial link text. Okay, these are different options. XPath is nothing but a relative path. Again, I can take a 1 hour session for XPath. What is XPath? How to create an XPath? So I'm not getting that much into detail, but these are the different options available. Okay, this is what is listed over here. So name is nothing but an attribute. So let me show you this how this attribute comes into picture, and that will be quite easier for you to understand. So let me go over here, log yourself in. If you right click on this email address and click on inspect, you can see this is the tag, input is a tag, and above it has been highlighted in blue also. So input is a tag, name is the attribute. Name is the attribute of this input tag. And what is the name of, what is the value of this attribute? It is email address. So this entire thing, so name and ID takes priority. Okay, so that is the reason it's mentioned over here. You can change, if you want, you can change it over here. So there are different options. Name, you can go with CSS, XPath, there are different options. But name will be taking a priority over it. Okay. Now let's run this entire program. Okay, it's been already recorded. Now I will do minimize the speed of this commands to execute, because sometimes it may happen that your website is loading slowly or your internet connection is slow. Okay, but and this commands will execute very fast. So I want to keep the execution speed slow. So I will run from here, run current test. So you can see on the right hand side the entire page is coming up. I'll maximize it. See, it's already logged in, right? It's already just a minute, just a minute. Actually, I need to log off. I didn't log off, and that's why it worked. So let me stop this execution and run it again. It was already logged in previously, so it took that session. So it didn't went well. So it's opening up. So it's logged in. Okay, now it has again it's going that way. Let me log off and go to the home page. So you need to make sure that you have been logged out successfully, because otherwise it will maintain the session. Okay, and let me check over here also. Let me log off from here also. Right. Otherwise it maintains the session and accordingly it works. So let me stop the script and run it again. So now it clicks on log yourself in. It will pass on the email address. It will pass on password. I have slowed down the speed, and that is why it is happening very slow. If I run it fast, it will actually execute quite faster than this. So see, now it has run successfully. All the commands are in green color. Over here you can see green color, and in the last line, in case of logs, you can see valid login check completed successfully. So that is a basic automation of a login with valid credentials. And similarly, you can automate anything. So it's a simple record and playback. I hope this would have given you a better idea. I will show you the same thing in WebDriver, through WebDriver. And for WebDriver, we need to go with Eclipse. Eclipse is a tool. Okay, so give me some time and I will do the coding over there. I think I have a code already over here. So let me, this is for Amazon. So I will run that later. Let me create a new code. So I will be using Java library. I will be using Selenium library to create this code. So valid login check. So for example, main method, finish. I'll be copying some of the portions. Right now, guys, I won't be able to explain you the entire code. but this seminar might just give you an idea how you can do your automation. Okay, so I'm providing the URL over here. Now this URL will open up. Then I want to click on this log yourself in. So it is a simple link text. I will inspect it. So this is a link text. 1 or 2 minutes and this will be done. See, by dot, and as I said, ID, link text, name, partial link text, tag name, XPath. These are the different options you are coming up with. And they all are static in nature. They all are static in nature. And if you have understood about static in your college, you would understand that static variables and static methods can be called directly by the class name. And by over here is a class name actually, right? So I will call this method by.link text. I have to perform click. So click. Okay. Now see one more thing, for automation you need to have a website present, otherwise you won't be able to do automation of that website. So manual testing definitely won't go anywhere. Okay, but automation makes our lives easier. That is the reason. This is a name and I want to pass some uh, test. That was the email address. And then I have to quickly to find element name, and over here. So again, it's name, attribute as name, and then password is the value. So I will be copying this, passing it over here as a string, .n keys, and that password. And then I have to click on this login sign in button. So again, I'm inspecting that sign in button. So it is button with ID as TDB1. So I will be going with ID. I have to perform dot click. Okay, that way. Let me check it again. Demo@test.com. So that is what they are, test123. So log off button I want to log off link I want to check. Click on it. Log off. It's a link text because it is an anchor tag. Okay. So it is a hyperlink link text. So log off I will copy this and I will say wp dot find element by dot link text. What is the link text? This one. So I want to verify whether it is present or not. So dot is displayed. Okay. So this particular method is displayed will give you Boolean result. Boolean as in true or false. So I will say Boolean um, logout. Okay. And I will say if as I mentioned you earlier, let me close this browser. I have created one framework and I'll show you, demonstrate you that part. I know I'm a little bit more than what the time mentioned to me, but just wanted to share you with how the entire framework is developed. So this is actually a Maven project, okay, and over here you can see this is my base class, okay, where I have mentioned many things like Excel reader to read the Excel sheet, logger to create logs, okay, some property files, Java property files, okay, accent reports to give the reports in a proper format, okay. Then I have test cases. So few test cases have been mentioned over here, which I will execute it. Config.properties, basically it lists out some properties as in browser is equal to browser is equal to Chrome. So this entire test cases will run on Chrome browser. If I change into Firefox, the entire testing will happen on Firefox. So that is the simplicity of this framework. Okay. So let me run this. Right click, run as Maven test. So running test suite. Test suite is nothing but a group of test cases. So you can see the Chrome browser has been opened up. It should maximize the window. Okay, maximized. Now, what happens over here? If you can see, manufacturers drop down is there, and it is selecting multiple products, multiple names. Okay, from the drop down itself, and the page is getting listed. Now, categories section is running up. So, categories, out of categories, there are different options, and they are getting displayed. Okay, and close. Fine. So this all happened within 1 minute, I would say, not more than that. So all this has been displayed out. So what actually we performed is we selected three different options from this drop down. Okay, as part of a smoke testing to check whether the pages are getting open or not. I have selected all the categories options, as in Bluetooth, camera, and whether the page is getting displayed or not. Okay, and that is what is mentioned. This is the page title. This is the page title getting displayed over here. So when I click on Bluetooth, the page actually comes in, and the page title over here at the top, it comes Bluetooth gadget Selenium. And that is what I'm printing over here. So test run is 4. There are 0 failures, zero skipped. And if I want to, I will refresh this project. And let me refresh it. And I will generate a report. So short file reports. So this is how you will be getting a report. This report is also auto-generated. Okay. So when you click on select manufacturer is our test case. And right, select manufacturer is a test case, and over there, these are the different arguments I'm passing, as in Acer, Lenovo, JBL. These are the different options I'm passing, and how many seconds it took. That is also getting displayed. Then selecting category links. So multiple elements click. It happened like 18 some seconds. So within that particular, this complete test has been done. Okay. Fine. So I hope you guys understood this part of automation. Okay. This
Thank
is
you,
my
sir, for this.
yeah. Notice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I was saying that these are my contact details. This is my email address and phone number. In case if you have any questions later on, also want to get more information about software testing things, definitely you can approach us, and we can help you out with that.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session. And here is some question from the student side, sir.
Yeah.
Uh, the one thing that
Yeah. Please.
why we go for the paid if open source tools are available, sir?
See, definitely there are some limitations and disadvantages of the tools. Not
Okay.
every tool. See, we are also humans, and we all are not perfect. So same goes for tools also. So if you say with QTP, if you have seen the POS machines, point of sale machines, like in DMart or Big Bazaar, right? The you are paying at that particular scene. That POS machine can be automated through QTP. Your mobile application can be automated through QTP or UFT using. Website can be automated. So it is a kind of a bundle, and you are getting a service also, the support services also. Okay. So
Okay.
initially, when Selenium was not there, and because of specific reasons, we are going for that particular tool. See over here, extent report is provided by some other, you can say vendor.
Yeah.
Your logs, Apache POI is helping you to support interaction with the Excel sheet. So all these are different open sources. If you want to interact with Firefox browser, you need to have Gecko driver. That Gecko driver is provided by Mozilla. For interaction with Chrome browser, you need to have Chrome driver. Chrome driver is provided by Google team. So there are different vendors providing you different services, and each one has to be compatible with each other. But that is not the case with paid tools. It's all provided by bundled together by one particular company. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir. And one more question are there. Can we write the multiple browser name on that configure file, sir?
No, not at the same time, but definitely
Okay.
you can change it. Say, for example, if I want to run this on Firefox, I will just change it to Firefox, and accordingly, the entire code will run on the Firefox browser.
Okay. Okay, sir. And one more question, sir. There are Selenium IDE, right? And there are
Right.
one more thing that Selenium RC. So what is
RC
the
is
different?
obsolete. Yeah, or RC is obsolete now. And
Okay.
what RC used to do was, see, Selenium ID just records your Chrome browser and Firefox browser. Okay, so recording can be done in these two browsers. Now, if you want to run your script on any other browser, say for example Safari or Internet Explorer,
Okay.
how can you run that part? So Selenium RC was providing a server which was connecting you to that particular browser and helping you run this script on that particular browser. But now
And
RC
is
is
there any?
obsolete.
Okay. Okay. So is there any point that we have to cover while planning the phase of automation, sir?
Definitely, there are a lot of points. As in, first of all, you
Okay.
need to consider what is the actual requirement, whether you need automation or not. Sometimes management tells that we want to go for automation, but the
Yeah.
project will last only for 2 months. So there is
Okay.
no point to go for automation because otherwise the project cost will increase, isn't it?
Okay.
So if
Yeah.
your project is of small duration, you definitely do need not to go for automation.
Okay.
Then uh, if there are some areas which will be kind of needs to be tested in every release, development team will be giving you release multiple times. So there are some areas which you want to test multiple times or repetitively. So those things we will need to cover as part of automation, and not all the manual things we need to cover. Then the very first question, like choosing the tool itself, whether Selenium will be helpful to our project. Selenium is not able to automate usability areas. So if there is another tool which can help you in that part, start using that tool, right? So
Okay.
there are different parameters which a project manager definitely takes into consideration.
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful session, sir.
Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks a lot. I hope you guys have understood this part. I've tried to make this very much simpler, but
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
anyways,
Yeah.
thanks,
Thank
guys.
you,
Thanks a
sir.
lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Hello, sir.